So I wanted to give you guys my perspective on the stupid, ridiculous nonsense that is known as the GPP, also known as the GeForce Partner Program. Not to be confused with that other thing that people were complaining about a few months ago, known as the TPP, which is the Trans-Pacific Partnership. Completely different things, also related to economics, not related to graphics cards, different things entirely. So, obviously there's been a ton of updates. Every other major tech tuber has given their thoughts on the matter. Nvidia, basically, for those of you who don't know, Nvidia is updating their rules for being allowed to partner with Nvidia as far as the gaming side of things for graphics cards, basically stating that, here, let me pull it up so that I'm not quoting anybody out of place and hopefully don't get sued for any reason. So, straight from Nvidia's own website, the GeForce Partner Program is designed to ensure that gamers have full transparency into the GPU platform and software they're being sold and can be confidently select products that carry the GeForce Partner Program. Partners are signing up fast, blah, blah, blah. The program isn't exclusive, so it doesn't exclude AMD, blah, 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 blah. GPP ensures, so this is the real kicker. The GeForce Partner Program ensures our engineering and marketing effort support brands consumers associate with GeForce. That transparency will give gamers the confidence needed to make their purchase, whichever products they choose. So that is the hootenanny that we are discussing today. The fact that there's a ton of discussion going around about how this can't be legal. Everybody should sue Nvidia for all of this crap that they're doing. And to some extent, I can see where you're coming from, but at the same time, I'm not sure how the law would make provision for that. I'm not a lawyer. This is not legal advice. Blah, 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 blah. If you're smarter than me in the law side of things, let me know either down in the comments or over on our Discord. Let's chat there. But this is Nvidia working with their own intellectual property, their own product to some extent, and then dictating how other people use that. To me, that's not illegal. Like saying to Asus, you can't market our Nvidia card along something else and say that they're both gaming. That's not okay. It could be antitrust, it could be pushing AMD out of the market, but at the same time, basically what Nvidia is saying is that the branding that you're going to use with our cards has to be exclusive to our cards and cannot be used for something else, which should technically, the way that they're doing it, I don't necessarily agree. I don't agree with Nvidia on this. Let me be explicitly clear, no matter what caveats I make, we can have a discussion about this, but no matter what caveats I make, I do not agree with Nvidia on this move. I think it's absolutely ridiculous. ROG should be able to sell both Nvidia cards and AMD cards. That should not be an issue. You should have Nvidia next to Radeon, totally fine for MSI, Oris, Asus, freaking who else is XFX. Anybody who wants to sell both should be able to sell both under whatever branding they choose. I don't think it's a good thing that Nvidia is restricting partners in this way. I think that this is just basically a cash grab at this point. I don't necessarily know if it's illegal. I'm sure it might be in some provinces. I'm sure it might be in some cities or states or whatever, but on the whole, them dictating how they want their products to be marketed kind of seems within their rights, but not necessarily what they should be doing, because there's only two major players here. Like, okay, let's say Nvidia existed amongst a sea of other graphics card manufacturers. Let's say HP, Dell, Lenovo, friggin' Asus. Let's say each individual company made their own graphics processing unit, and it wasn't just AMD that you had to choose for gaming. To say at that point, no, we want Nvidia's branding to be exclusive, we want Nvidia's branding to be top tier, because we believe we stand apart from the rest. So if you want our engineering and marketing support, then you must abide by these rules. I think that's less of a crappy move by them in that case, which obviously doesn't exist because it does separate from the noise. But there's only two companies you can choose from. You have Nvidia and you have AMD. When you say, hey, you have to market ours as gaming and nothing else, guess what that means? We hate you, AMD, and we don't want you to be gaming. And so it's this complicated thing that, I'm gonna make provision for Nvidia here. It sucks. It absolutely is stupid that they will implement this program, but at the same time, their marketing fund should go towards the marketing efforts that they think side with their brand the most. If they want it to be for companies that exclusively promote Nvidia for gaming, which would be, the likes of Zotac, Galax, who else do we have? Like Gainward, is that one? Colorful, I think. I don't think Colorful makes AMD. I could be absolutely wrong here. EVGA, like if Nvidia wants to put all of their marketing efforts behind those because they are exclusively Nvidia, yes, that would raise some red flags, because Asus, I'm sure, is selling a butt ton of cards, and it's not just EVGA who's selling the mass bulk of Nvidia cards. But if Nvidia wanted to put more marketing effort behind them, I think there could be some allowance for that, saying, oh, you're exclusively with Team Green, okay, we can throw some dollar bills at you. However, when it's like, oh, hey, you know how you have that little red splotch all over your cards? Get rid of that red splotch. Yeah, because it looks like blood. It looks like you murdered somebody. And guess what? We're going to murder your budgets if you choose to keep using them. I mean, they're threatening to pull their marketing development funds, which, of all things, is, yes, it's a crappy move, but at the same time, Nvidia should technically, legal issues aside, technically should be allowed to spend their marketing funds wherever they like. However, there are some interesting issues that are coming up with this, and this is something that I wanted to discuss with you guys a bit more, as far as like articles that I've seen come up. Reading a source on Reddit from the subreddit of AMD, of course, that's where all of this crap is going to be. Okay, so it appears that Asus has removed its ROG AMD cards. You'll just see Asus Radeon RX 580. With MSI, it's basically going to be the same thing. They're pulling the gaming branding from their AMD cards, or they're not even listing them apparently at this point. But the one that I found the most interesting was Gigabyte's website also removed the Aorus branding from the external box. However, okay, so there's an article from computerbase.de, which originally is in German but has been translated. It basically says, Computerbase asked Gigabyte why the model with the Radeon RX 580 is the only in the series which does not come with the Aorus gaming branding. And then Gigabyte said the manufacturer states that the product is not gamer focused. This, however, is inconsistent with the product page, whose headings are, quote, turn your Ultrabook to a gaming platform, and, quote, upgrade the game experience. Of course, freaking an RX 580 external dock is a freaking gaming product. Of course it is. Why would Gigabyte lie? Of course they're going to lie for money. That's basically what this is. Nvidia is turning. I mean, okay, so this could be anti-competitive. That's the other caveat that I wasn't thinking. So yes, if you're going to bring that up, it's technically anti-competitive. So basically, Nvidia made this anti-competitive move, but now they're forcing their partners to lie. Gigabyte has to lie, saying an RX 580 is not made for gaming, which is absolute hogwash. Of course, it's made for gaming. I've bagged AMD in the past for, Vega not being as great as I wanted it to be, and, the RX 580 being hot and loud, or whatever. Like, there's obvious things that aren't perfect with the AMD side of things, but at the same time, they're freaking gaming cards. That's what you were selling them as. They were Aorus RX 580s. How is it not a gaming product when the freaking page says that you should upgrade your gaming experience? Why is Nvidia causing people to lie at this point? Speculation, quote, not necessarily confirmed whether or not true. Nvidia is forcing people to lie. This could just actually be true. I think that this is a place where this is not okay for the consumer. This is not okay for the companies that we're supposed to trust. That makes Gigabyte look bad in my eyes. This makes Asus look bad in my eyes. This makes MSI look bad in my eyes, where they can agree with Nvidia by saying, oh yes, this other company that you are working with is no longer part of the gaming experience. These are no longer going to be gaming cards, because if you say that they're gaming cards, if you include them in your gaming lineup, then we're going to pull all of our support from you. This is not exclusive. This is not an exclusive deal. You're allowed to do both, but guess what? You're not allowed to call it gaming, or else we pull our support. That's really frustrating. That puts me in a place where I don't want to buy from Asus. I don't want to buy from MSI. I don't want to buy from Gigabyte. If they're going to go ahead and choose to work with Nvidia in this stance and not stand up for the fact that, like, AMD is gaming. AMD is something that the consumers should be able to go to the store and say, yes, this is a gaming product. Like, the worst case scenario is freaking everything that's labeled under Nvidia gets called gaming. So you see a 1050 laptop, GTX 1050 2 gig, you see it in a laptop, you see it as a graphics card, and it has gaming plastered all over it. Then you see the RX 580 or whatever, you know, the RX Vega 28 that might be coming out with the Vega refresh later this year, and it's just RX Vega, like it's RX 580. No gaming branding associated with it. It just looks like a graphics card, normal graphics card. It might even have the same shroud. Who freaking knows? But has no gaming all over it. Which one are people gonna buy? Nvidia says this is so that people can get the ultimate experience. Paraphrasing here, this is so people get a legitimate experience with Nvidia cards, so that they're knowing that they're gonna get a great gaming experience. But what this doesn't solve that. You have too many SKUs in your own product lineup that don't directly compete with other SKUs in Red Team's product lineup, and so you might give the people a worse gaming experience. And just because it's Nvidia branded gaming doesn't mean that it's better than the AMD card that's sitting on the other side of the aisle. I think this basically creates a situation where, yes, things are going to get sticky as far as branding goes. I mean, we'll still have companies like XFX, like Sapphire, like who else do we have who produces, you know, like BioStar, HIS. There should be a couple more that I can't think of. There's other AMD specific cards that do exist that will be branded as gaming. But if what was it? It was one of Linus's videos where they went through the Amazon affiliate sales, and like the graphics cards that weren't labeled gaming, like they're barely in the top 10, like they're 8th or 9th or something like that. Everything else has gaming in the name because that's what people are mainly buying graphics cards for, especially in the range of an RX 580. An Asus RX 580 is being bought most of the time for, okay, freaking mining obviously is getting in the way. RX 480s when they first came out. Let's go back to the future a little bit. RX 480s when they first came out were basically being bought for gaming. That's what they were for. They were for gaming. And I guess this might be a way of looking at Nvidia trying to take leverage of the mining craze. Like, what does it matter if they remove the gaming branding from an AMD card? They're not on the shelves in the first place because everybody's buying it for Ethereum. Everybody's buying RX Vegas for, you know, crypto night algorithms. They're not actually buying it for gaming. So what a perfect opportunity for Nvidia to revamp their stuff and subtly, without anybody in the public noticing, that AMD cards are suddenly no longer gaming from your most favorite brands like Asus and MSI. Like they're just AMD cards now. They're not gaming cards. Why? Because you didn't see them on the store shelves for months at a time because they were continuously sold out due to the cryptocurrency freaking craze. I mean, good move by Nvidia by picking the right timing, but at the same time, bad move Nvidia, bad move Asus, bad move MSI, bad move Gigabyte. Anybody who's signing on to the GPP and dropping AMD as a gaming brand, unfortunately gets a bad look in my eye because I just don't at all agree with that, and it's improper for me to think that this is the right move. This is them protecting their bottom line, which of course, like, I can understand it from a business perspective, and I can be sympathetic to it from a capitalistic perspective of this would massively affect sales numbers. This would massively affect these companies' ability to actually sell their products by having Nvidia remove their support completely, because Nvidia is a massive company with massive marketing money, and so if all of that cash dollar gets stripped immediately, then you know your reports for what you thought you were going to be doing this year are no longer there. And so protecting yourself in that scenario is an obvious thing to do, especially since I don't think AMD is throwing around the type of money that Nvidia has been, which they might need to in order to protect themselves on the other side of things, not to try to force Asus, MSI, and Gigabyte to start selling their cards as gaming brands, but to start pushing their companies that they work with that support AMD exclusively, like the Power Colors and the XFXs and the Sapphires. If they can push those guys more, then they might be, I don't know. I'm just spitballing here. I want to have a conversation about this. Let me know what you guys think of the GPP. Do you think Nvidia is in the right to do this? Or do you have more advanced legal knowledge than I do, and you know that this is for sure legally okay or for sure not legally okay? Let me know either again down in the comments or over on our Discord, which will be the top link in the video description. I want to have a chat with you guys about all of this, because this is just something that is ludicrous in my mind and is something that we're going to have to basically deal with. Like there's nothing I can do as a tech YouTuber with, you know, a few thousand subs. Like I can't get on Nvidia's radar. I'm not accepting Nvidia review samples. I'm not accepting AMD review samples. I get all of my review samples from Wootware or Asus or MSI. Like I'm not working with these companies directly, and so, you know, piss them off if I want. Obviously I don't want to, but like, freaking, this isn't okay. This isn't a place where I think the gaming community should be. It's not all right. And so, yeah, I want to have that discussion. And like, there's nothing I can do about it. I can't cause Nvidia to change their programs, but maybe if, you know, us as a community can, you know, band together and do something about it and force Nvidia's hand by buying AMD exclusively or refusing to support the companies that did drop AMD gaming and just go support the Zotacs and the Galaxys and the ones that were already doing Nvidia only. I don't know. Maybe I'm spitballing. Let's have that conversation. I want to discuss this with you guys down in the comments over on Discord. Be sure to smash this like button if you enjoyed watching me rant about Nvidia's GPP. Get subscribed to stay up to date on all of our tech related content, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Cheers.